Yo, welcome to the show TheAlarm by John David, and this is more of a friendly talk show rather than scripted smaller videos, and that's the intro. Now, I haven't made these episodes for a very long time. These are more like a talk show, as I said, and I'm gonna just come and chill. I'm gonna talk in the night, and you're probably gonna see a lot more mosquitoes around. I just don't know. Anyway, this is a special sweatshirt I bought just because of this show. I mean, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, let's talk about the company Nokia. So I actually started using a Nokia just because of this episode. Like I just wanted to re-feel all those, like started to feel those past Nokia vibes again, just a little bit. Even if that's not a big thing, but I just wanted to feel that thing. You can see that Windows Phone things, the Windows Phone days. What we're going to talk about today? Well, the thing is how I actually lost the trust on Nokia and how I kind of like drifted away from the brand Nokia. And totally, like literally, I don't have any Nokia phones except these three phones that I have from the past Nokia, the Nokia Lumia series. That's the only thing that I have from Nokia. Everything else that I bought from the new Nokias, I totally just sold them. Why? What's the reason I bought them? Then why I just sold them? Like I had my heart, like pumping for those phones once. Now I just don't even care about those phones. Yes, I moved to Apple, Samsung, and I never explored Apple and Samsung in the past. Like I was always kind of a guy who never really wanted to venture into these. I'm not going to call operating system the Samsung's one, but if you look at Android, how they look like a different operating system. Just consider it like that way. So this UI, this operating system, whatever, the iOS, Android, I didn't want to venture into. I always wanted to be in the Nokia form. So that Nokia form in the HMD fashion was the pure, secure, up to date, whatever it was. And I was a mad Nokia fan, to be honest. Like I was a Nokia fan. Like those kind of can you remember those days of the Nokia X6, the 5800 Express Music, and the phones like the X7 was such a premium phone but really neglected kind of people. The C7, the C6, and then there was a lot of other kind of devices like there are the phones that were like keypad phone but had touchscreen, the X301. Can you remember those days? It was just a fantastic thing. But you know what, the past Nokia had those kind of capabilities to innovate and be ahead of the competition. Now I'm not gonna lie, the fact that Apple changed the game. As much as you can hate Apple, because of Apple we are having these kind of smartphones. Otherwise, if it would have been Nokia's thing, then Nokia wouldn't even make this kind of smartphone, because Nokia and Motorola or even BlackBerry at the time were laughing on the decision made by Apple, like a flagship phone, the costly phone that has a touchscreen input. Yeah, that was a joke according to them. But then we know the reality, right? iPhones are dominating right now, even though Samsungs are still dominating, but you get the point. Like Apples are still at a very high regard. Even Apples are selling less iPhones, but they have a lot of higher margins. Now, where Nokia got all those things wrong, I'm not gonna tell you in this episode. I'm probably gonna make a different episode. If this episode goes well, I'm gonna make a different episode, like how Nokia went the downhill, when it actually happened. We know, but just I want to say it. The fact that when the new Nokia came, forget about the old Nokia for a minute, okay? When the new Nokia came, the first and foremost thing is I was intrigued by their devices. In a way, like I was thinking like this is the real Nokia, and I was trying to convince many more people that this is a real Nokia, and a lot of people did. Even if you see a video by Michael Fisher, he also said the same thing, that it was run by ex-Nokia employees, so don't call it a Chinese company. And I totally agree on that as well. But the fact is, not every single people working over there, whether that is the CEO, like the current CEO I'm talking about, not the past one, or whether they're, if you talk about the product officer, none of them had proper I wouldn't say like the capabilities, but proper vision, the roadmap, the lineup. From the starting of it, there was nothing. The first generation products were good. The 6, 5, 3, and then there was the Nokia 8 that was launched. Even though it was a flawed flagship, but I wouldn't say it was that much flawed that the Nokia 9 POV was, or probably is. It's kind of dead right now. Um, it was dead on arrival, actually. When I saw it, I was kind of hopeless by it. But I still tried to keep my chin up like, oh yeah, Nokia 9 POV. It's 5 cameras, it's flexing hard, it's great. Which is not. I'm going to come back to that Nokia 9 POV thing, which is running really hard. And that's the most biggest reason why I'm trying to make this video. And this is more of a friendly video, okay? So don't ask me for like, why are you talking about this thing, that thing? It's a friendly talk video, okay? In the night I'm making, just think about it. So, when Nokia came with those kind of things, I was pretty much okay, fine. And it was great. It's all great. What about the next generation? The next generation was pretty much great. That was the Nokia 6.1, the 7.1. The phones were great. The 7 Plus was in the midst. I forgot about that. That's just a fantastic phone. The 7 Plus, the 80 Core. The 80 Core was just a design masterpiece. It was still a great device at the time, but it launched with a lackluster things in a variety of different ways, from the cameras to the battery to the processor and everything. So yeah, it was not a competitive phone, but it was something like a special variant of the Nokia 8, which in a way that you can say like, yeah, that was a great phone. And there are a lot of other products launched as well, like the 7.1, 6.1, and I really love those products. And then we got the Plus variant, and that's where the problem starts to begin. The Plus variants were like midlife, update, but they were major updates. But they launched in the same year. That was a little bit confusing, because then why would you buy a 6.1 when you have 6.1 Plus? Why would you buy a 5.1 when you have a 5.1 Plus? It was confusing at the time, but still, it was like, I was a Nokia fan, so I was like, okay, fine, it's just what it is. We have the phones, we're buying it. Then the thing came, the Nokia 8.1, which is not a flagship variant of the Nokia 8. It's I won't call it a value flagship or upper mid-range. You can call it upper mid-range. The Snapdragon 710 8.1. Yeah, it was a great phone. But all of these phones were flawed. How? All of them had USB-C port, and that was a major flaw. Not by the standard or something like that. It's just the ports were flawed. And Nokia never really acknowledged that thing. They gave us the replacement, and like replacement in a sense, like what was that? They will replace it for free for one time, but even after 6 months, it starts to face the same again. And these were creating so much frustration. One day I got so frustrated that I had to put it on sale on OLX, like the 8.1. I was like so frustrated that I wasn't able to charge it. Can you believe that? Like I plugged in, like I had an important meeting at the day, and I plugged it in, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab it in 1 hour. So let me finish my work while it's getting charged. 1 hour later, I came back and it was at 25%. And that time I was up. It was just the most frustrating thing ever can happen to anyone. When you know it's charging, when you have seen that phone is charging, it's showing that it is charging, but it's charging so slow with an 18-watt original power adapter. That broke my heart in a way that, like, why even I'm trusting this brand anymore? They already made a flawed phone in the form of Nokia 6. Now a lot of people will say like, what? Nokia 6, my phone is running good. Whose phone is running good? Like, I bought the one that we came with an Amazon variant. Okay, and that had a major problem. The first problem was that it got October 9th till update, so there was no more update after that. And the second one is the heating issue that was even from the starting, but it never got solved. And at the last update, which I shouldn't have done, it made it worse. The whole phone became so slow that even though I have changed the battery from Nokia recently, it was not giving him any good performance. The performance was so lackluster. Like a Snapdragon 430 shouldn't perform like that way. No. And if you open, let's say YouTube with mobile data on, I mean, even God can predict the battery life. It's so worse. And on top of that, the phone would get hot like crazy. The phone's usual temperature was like over 42 degrees all the time. That is kind of scary. Then I was facing problems. Like, I recently sold the Nokia 8.1. I was like, okay, let's replace that phone with the Nokia 6, because the Nokia 6 was in my cupboard. So I was like, okay, let's start to use it. Not for anything, just getting the OTPs. That's any phone can do, right? And maybe sometimes even I'm holding the phone, maybe I thought like, oh yeah, let's search about that on YouTube. Just open the YouTube and just do it. That was the sole purpose of using the whole phone was. That phone couldn't even do that. Then one day I was trying to book an Yulu bike. It's kind of like an electric bike you can book, like Uber. You can go to the Yulu stations and you can just unlock an Yulu bike and just bam, you can do this stuff. And I tried to force restart. I tried to switch on the phone. It's doing nothing. The same thing happened with Uber. That time I got frustrated. Like, I had to come back to home to pick up my iPhone to do the step. That means the phone is of no work. Then I'm like, okay, fine, I will not use it for anything else and just like OTPs. Then one day I tried to have the OTPs as well, and that time the phone slowed down so well that now I'm like, this is it. And I immediately took some photos with my iPhone. Yes, with my iPhone. I'm teasing those who does say like I love Nokia too much, the HM Nokias. I took some photos and I immediately uploaded and I sold it in just 2 hours. You know how much rupees? 2,000 rupees. For 2,000 rupees, which is 30 bucks, let's say 30 bucks, less than 30 bucks, a little less than that, 29 bucks. Yes, I sold the phone for 29 bucks, which is pretty much a cheap. Like, he got a full box kit, everything for 29 bucks. Yeah. For him, that phone might work. I don't know how he will use it, but anyway, that's not my problem, okay? And that is the thing. And I found out that why is these things keep on happening with this company? Why not with other companies? Like, I have not seen any Samsung phone slowing down that well, right? I'm saying that well. Yeah, I mean, I'm using a Galaxy S9 Plus, which has an Exynos processor. We know Exynos processors are pretty naughty. And on top of that, that's Samsung phone, bloatware, that custom skin. The phone is still performing great. Like, insane. And I have tons of apps. And I don't fear to recommend people Samsungs anymore. Now, then recently, my sister wanted to buy a casual phone. So she asked me, like, which one is a good phone to buy as like the secondary phone. Like, same goes like the OTP and all the stuff, and booking some stuff. And she was looking for a cheap phone, and I said like, let me see some Nokias first, because she in the past had a Nokia. So she thought like, okay, a Nokia would be great. So I looked at the Nokia website and I found out phones are really confusing. There is one phone called C01 Plus. I don't know how the name came out. So I've not been keeping track since 2020. So now I don't know how they name the phones. Okay, I know they changed the name, the GX series and XR. I don't know what they did, but they have no clarification how actually it is working. Like, what is the C series? What is the G series? What is the X series? What is the XR then? It doesn't make sense. And they don't have a lot of phones to clarify it either. Like, there is a C01 and there is a C30. Then what is the C20? And then where is the C01? There is a C01 Plus. I get it. Where is the C01? Okay. The C30 is equally priced as the Nokia 3.4, quite a bit, where the Nokia 3.4 was a better device than the C30. I'm a little confused. I don't know how they are working. I have no idea. But one thing that I can confirmly say to you, that they're going to bring a lot more phones in this, and they're going to confuse you even further, because that's what we are hearing, that they have new phones coming with this code name, that code. I don't give a damn about that. But what I can say is, like, they're going to bring more like cheap phones. The phones are actually also made by ODMs. So if you don't know, these phones are not actually made by Nokia either. Like not made by, but like not designed by them either. So they're doing nothing. They're just like managing stuff. Like you do the design, you do the manufacturing, you take care of the software updates, or you take care of the services, you take care of the after sale services. You take. I don't know how these all work, but this is how they're doing. This is the company is just managing things. And if you don't know, these phones are designed by Chinese ODMs. So even the designs are not the original one either. They have certain criteria, maybe like the quality of the plastic or quality of the materials, let's call it, and also maybe the camera sensor choices or a few things here and there. But overall, the whole design is done by an ODM. A Chinese designer, a Chinese company is designing. What can you expect from them? And they're saying, oh, okay, love from Finland. What do you mean by love from Finland? I don't like their phones at all. Like, I don't know why people would even buy, even consider these phones. Like, there are tons of other phones. Even if you don't like the stock Android, if you don't like stock Android, then it's great that you have tons of options. But if you like stock Android, but I would still say buy Samsung, put a launcher, and clear some of the clutter over there, like the, uninstall some of the bloatware. You will still have a better phone, better service, better company, and at least better promises. And talking about the promises, Nokia promised to update. Their main thing is the update, right? It was the update, it still is the update. Or so they call updates. But in terms of the Nokia 9 POV, they probably promised update. Only one update. Yeah. So when they launched the phone, they promised everyone, like every single one, that you're going to get 2 years of software updates. Now they're saying, due to technical issues, it's not possible. The camera hardware, which is made by Light, the company isn't actually like out of the business. It's actually out of the smartphone business. So they are not going to make any smartphone camera hardwares, but they are in the camera world. If you don't know, when a company contract with like another company, they usually have when they're promising like 2 years of update, then they also have the contract that you have to provide the service for the camera hardware, regardless of whatever happened to your company. You just can't say like, oh yeah, we have stopped our business, we're not going to deal with any of these things. Whatever you have done, I don't know. No, it's not how it works. So they have certain kind of contracts. So they usually have, they can say like, oh yeah, you made the camera hardware, so you know the real thing. So because we are providing an update as we have promised, so you have to configure the camera and with the software. Now it is not impossible, but they are not going to do it. Why? Because simply they just they know that there are hardly any Nokia POV owners. There are hardly Nokia users. I mean, I don't know why would anyone use any Nokia product anymore. Like, there's no point in it. Like, if you are older Nokia user, but like the Nokia 8.1, the 5.1 plus, 6.1 plus, I can get the point. Like, oh yeah, that time Nokia had like a thing going, but because they're making these kind of phones, I don't think anyone is buying the new phones. And the Nokia 9 POV was a very much of a lackluster device. Like, since the start, it had promises, but it failed to do in most of the segments. Like, the fingerprint scanner was the biggest one. The second one was the camera, the slow camera thing. The third one was there was no night mode. They couldn't even give a night mode to a phone like that. Yeah, I know the fusion would take a lot more strength of the whole processor, but that doesn't mean you can't provide that thing. Okay, there could have been any other pathways, but they just straight out said no, we're not gonna. And anyway, their night mode isn't great either. But then again, there were no like proper pro camera system. Like, there was a pro camera app, but it's not the Lumia like pro camera app. Like, if I show you a Lumia pro camera app, how it looked like, this is how Nokia pro camera app should look like. Can you see that? And this is the Nokia pro camera app. Yes, and this phone is still capable of taking great shot at proper light. This is the Nokia Lumia 930, by the way, if anyone is asking. So this is a stealthy black. Yep. It does look good, right? Now, here's the thing. These were a different kind of a phone. But, when Nokia made the Nokia 9 PureView, they named it PureView, which these two phones also had the PureView branding, but this was the real PureView. Nokia now just only acquired the brand licensing. They had no capabilities, and the Nokia Tech, even if there is, it's old, really old. So now forget about all those things. They promised these things, right? And they couldn't deliver it. So when they couldn't deliver it, so they have to compensate, right? So they could have easily said, like, we're gonna keep your money back. They could have easily said that, 50% money back probably would have been worth it. Like, the phone's value is already so down that people don't even want to have it. Now, if they would have done that thing, it would have been great. But instead, they said, like, well, you can buy the Nokia XR20 for 50% discount. Now, that too isn't working in Russia for some reason. Like, I saw an article on a Nokia-based website. I don't know how things work in Nokia Mobile. I can't guarantee, anything. This company is a stupid one. The Nokia 9 PureView, it's like they tried to make those flagship customers, those who want the best of the best Nokia, they bought a flagship Nokia. They want those guys to use a Nokia XR20. And why would they use it? Tell me a reason to do it. Like, even a normal people, like, let me say me, let's say I'm not an Apple fan, I'm not a Nokia fan, I'm not a Samsung fan, I'm nothing. I'm just a standard customer, like a normal customer. I don't know about phones that much. I just know that it should have a good camera, good setup, good quality, build quality, everything. And I come up to the store and I ask, like, what is the phone that I can buy at the price of 46,000 to 47,000, like 45 to 50? What's the phone? They will show me a lot of phones. There is the Galaxy S20 FE. There is probably the Galaxy S20 refurbished. Probably you will be able to buy, or you will be able to buy the phones like the iPhone 11. Yeah, and it's also selling at that price. And you can also buy iPhone SE, like high storage variant. And then there are phones like the Nokia XR20. And I'm not talking about the OnePlus and all those, by the way. They are there. They are very competitive. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to shame them like that way. I'm just talking about the bigger companies, okay? The bigger brands and this little puny little Nokia, okay? So if I show you all these phones, what phone will you consider? The straight out answer would be, I'll buy an iPhone. Or maybe if I want an Android, I will go with the Samsung. Or if you want a phone like that, you can have a Google Pixel. Yes, the Google Pixel 6 is the price, but it's not available in India, so I'm not considering that. But if you consider USA, then yeah, that also comes into play. Now, if you consider all these devices, is it worth buying the S20 FE right now? Probably no, but you get the point. Like, these are the phones available at this price, and then there is the Nokia XR20, which is a cheap phone that is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 480. What is that phone is? What it does offer? Why would anyone pick a Nokia XR20 over an iPhone 11? Just straight out say it. People will say, like, oh, the build quality is there. What I'm gonna do with the build quality if the phone can't handle my everyday tasks properly, or after 3 years later, if the phone isn't able to provide me software update, what about the software updates, right? What about the main software updates? It's not 4-5 years like the iPhones. So my iPhone 11 would still give me latest iOS software, which is also a better software, like a better. Let's not say like Android is better or iPhone is better. I'm not going to go there. But even if you don't consider that, just think about it. An iPhone, first and foremost thing, it's a status symbol. People think about that. I don't look at that way. But then again, if you don't look at that way, an iPhone is an iPhone, and a Galaxy phone is a Galaxy one. And this Nokia is what? Nobody knows about them. Nobody's talking about them. And on top of that, they have ruined their fans. And they're making phones like this today. Why they launch the phone and they think this is a competitive phone to the iPhone 11 in any scenarios? Forget about the cameras. It's kind of like the garbage cameras on there. Anyway, and it's a rugged phone. I get the one, rugged phone. But what's the point of a rugged phone? What anyone will do with it? What? Like, there is no use case of this phone at all. Like, even if it's built for very, 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 very specific peoples. Like, a normal customer wouldn't go for a XR20, right? Because there are these kind of phones, the iPhone 11, the S20 FE. I don't know what else we'll find. Like a OnePlus, there are tons of OnePlus, tons of Xiaomi devices. The I don't know, Huawei. Let's not consider Huawei, but there are other devices as well, from Oppo, Vivo, and you're gonna consider Nokia XR20. What the screen is, it's nothing. There is no high refresh rate, nothing, and you're gonna consider a phone like that? Okay, iPhone 11 also doesn't have a high refresh rate, but it's still an iOS. Just think about it. It still has better cameras, better battery life, better, I don't know what else, software support, a premium build quality. What else you want? I don't want a phone that already has a plastic cladding around every side. If I want to have that, I will probably buy a case for that. So there is no point in it. And Nokia want the Nokia 9 POV customers, those who have the premium build quality, the OLED display, and like, let's call it a great camera setup and all those stuff, switch to this one, the Nokia XR20. That too, paying the half price. What do you think, huh? That's not acceptable. They could have easily said that, take the money back, 50% money back. People that have been like happier, way happier. This is like the stupidity level is just there. If anybody is opting for this kind of thing, it doesn't make sense. Just think about a company, like why I don't trust this company is like, I don't recommend anyone. Even my sister bought, as a secondary phone, she bought a Samsung, I don't know what that name is, Samsung M02 or something like that. It's just like a cheap phone, but it's still a Samsung. Because after all, a Samsung is a Samsung, right? There are software features inside the Android operating system. If you don't like the bloatwares, you can just uninstall them. There are tons of ways. I love Samsung now. I love. Maybe the flagship ones are my favorite ones, but I still do love a Samsung over, let's say, a stock Android device like that. Now, if I really have to buy a stock Android device, I will probably go with a Google Pixel, straight out, not a Nokia. Now, this company isn't able to make any good phones. They haven't made. I just wanted them to make few phones, like 4-5 phones, and consider them like a low-end phone, the mid-range phone, an upper mid-range phone, a value flagship, and a flagship. Straight out, simple as that, and make these phones perfect in a sense, like give them good cameras. You don't have to be really innovative, but at least provide people who love and trust Nokia brand an option to buy something over, let's say, a Motorola device or a OnePlus device. Just I mean, even Nokia should take some inspiration from Motorola, how they tried and now they're coming back. Like, Motorola have been out of this market for a very long time. In like 2018, 2019, I couldn't see a Motorola device in my face. Like, no. But suddenly they came up with phones that were like people are like talking about it. Like, people are like, oh yeah, this phone is better than the OnePlus phone. I'm like, what? People started buying that phone. People started appreciating the phone. Why can't Nokia do that? And on top of that, they're providing these kind of things, like these kind of offers, these kind of stupid things, and I don't know what else they will offer. Okay, they already have so much of problems with their phones in the past phones. Now they're doing this. I don't know, even though it may seem a little bit here and there because the video is not scripted, so I'm just talking like back and forth from there to there. So it might seem a little bit like I don't have enough pathway of what I'm talking about. But this is the thing, like I'm really frustrated with Nokia. Like I couldn't control my anger towards them. Like, as a past Nokia fan, as I said, like I love the Nokia brand. I don't know what they're doing. Like, they don't have proper accessories for their phones. They don't have proper cases for their phones. They don't have proper strategy. What kind of naming? People, if a consumer is getting confused, then there is nothing bad. There is nothing good in their naming scheme. at all. Like, it's not good at all, because if a consumer is coming up and they're just confused, C30, C01 plus G20, I mean, where they're standing, there's no clarification. Just look at Apple, how simple they are. If you go to the headphone segment, it's just simple. The AirPods 2, starting at the cheaper end, then the AirPods 3, the recently launched one, at the midst of the AirPods 2 and the AirPods Pro, and then there is the higher end AirPods Max. If you go to the phones, if you want the cheapest phone, if you don't care about the like the Face ID and all this stuff, you just want to spend the little amount of money that you can spend to buy an iPhone from Apple, go for the iPhone SE 2020. If you want a Face ID phone at the cheapest price, iPhone 11. If you want a good solid phone that you can just totally have, and you can have the older display, notch, Face ID and everything, go for the iPhone 12. If you want a mini size phone, the size matters to you, and you want a compact phone, go for the iPhone 13 mini. If you want the best of the best phone but without spending for the Pro model, go for the iPhone 13. I don't recommend the iPhone 12 mini to anyone, but if you have chargers around, you can buy the iPhone 12 as well, iPhone 12 mini. And then if you have the most higher spec model you want to spend that money, you can go for the 13 Pro Max, or if you want the smaller variant, 13 Pro. It's that simple. People has this simple idea, like if they go to the website, these things that are laid out, they look at the price, they just want to buy it, but there is no overlap. There is the overlap with the iPhone 13 mini and the 12, but there is like a little bit of choice you have to make. Whether you want to go for the compact size phone or you want the bigger size phone, you don't care about the latest camera upgrades or a little smaller notch, because otherwise they're mostly identical. So this is how a phone company should make their phones line up. They shouldn't confuse people, at least not this way. Well, Samsung can do it because Samsung is so big that they don't care about the lower end segment. They can launch like 5 different phones with almost the same features, all with the same camera. They do have, and I don't look at the lower end segment anyway, so I'm not gonna be able to say you the names. It'll be like there's the M52, M32, the F22, the I don't know what else they have launched. It's just a crazy market. But the thing is, people will still buy Samsung because they don't have these kind of flaws. But Nokia's phones are already, the naming scheme is confused and they're confusing, and then once you buy the phone, then they're gonna face all these things like they promise they can't keep you. They have flaws like this USB-C port flaws. I don't know what kind of flaws are in the new phones, and if they are or not, I don't care. I don't want to know about that either. But there is a thing, like I am so frustrated with how they're handling the Nokia name. If it would have been HMD branded phones, I would have been like, okay, yeah, the ex-Nokia made a company called HMD Global, they started making phones. I would have been excited, I would have bought them, and then once I get the bad experience, I'm like, okay, these are not Nokia phones anyways, it's just HMD phones. But here they played with the Nokia brand name. Here they're playing, and how, I don't know how Nokia is accepting all these things, like Nokia. And also Nokia, I don't know what Nokia is doing now. Like I know they are focused on the 5G, 6G and all those stuff, IoT devices. What about the consumer products? Nokia is licensing their name like crazy to any company now. Like Flipkart is making TVs, but the Nokia TVs in India and Nokia TVs in Europe are different, are totally different. Even though from the same brand, it looks like the same brand, it's not. It's totally different. The manufacturing to everything is, every single feature, every single thing is different, because those are done by different companies. Nokia have licensed their name in Europe, in the TV world, to a company, in India to a different company. Then they have audio accessories. I don't know how many Nokia audio accessories are there right now. If you count, it may be over 20. It's really confusing. You don't know. The names are even confusing. The headset's name is E1200, E1300. I don't know whether it's a headset or it's a earbuds. You are confused. Some are made by Flipkart. The company is making the Nokia TVs in India. Some are made by HMD Global, and some are made by Richco. I'm like, wait a minute. Would you want to prove? Like, I know that Nokia is trying to make their name possibly everywhere, but that's not the proper way. Like, want to buy a cheaper pair of earbuds, the TWS? I would probably recommend you the Nokia one, because it's still better than the Realme products and all the stuff. They're even more Chinese. But this is the thing. Like, Nokia is just now confusing in every possible way. And now Nokia is also not really focused in their phones. Not focused means they don't even care what HMD is doing with their name. Because if they would have been any more careful, then they wouldn't let HMD do all these things. Now we know HMD already had the CPO. He's just out. A lot of Nokia people who used to work on a Nokia, the HMD, they also left. The CEO is still there. I don't know what he is doing. The problem is why Nokia is thinking like people would buy their phones when they have better options at a cheaper price even. And on top of that, they have these kind of problems. I know they can fool people one time, not twice. So if I buy a phone and if I got fooled by them, I'm not buying them next time now. And that is happening with a lot of people. And that's why I think I never made a Nokia review, like Nokia 8.1 or anything's review. I never made one. And I probably won't be able to make anyway because I don't have any of their phones. I just sold all of them. I don't sell Nokia phones. I never sold any Nokia phones. But all the HMD Nokias, I have to sell it. I had to sell it. And I sold all of them. So it was that bad. The experience has been the worst. I will never go back to a Nokia phone. Unless Nokia is trying to make one, I probably as an experiment I will buy one. But just like an experiment. No loyalty over there. It's ended in 2014. Because I knew the fact that when HMD came back, I knew the fact that they don't have the manufacturing capabilities. They don't have the R&D. So R&D are kind of like the pushing the boundaries. The manufacturing is like your hand in everything. Like you know that your build quality, you know that your materials are better than them. Just think about the Lumia products. Let me show you one product. Even till today, my friends and everyone, whoever has seen this phone, this is the Nokia Lumia 830. And this was launched in 2014, the end of the era time. So this phone is still considered to be beautiful and a piece of hardware, like literally, like look at the feel of it. Everything is so premium in it. It's just amazing to this day, like the buttons to everything. Like after all these years, just look at this phone. This phone still runs. There's no problem. Not even the buttons are problematic. No, nothing. There's no problem. It's just working. It's still working. And if this wasn't the real Nokia, then what is the real Nokia? Yes, this was the real Nokia. And that's what I feel like whenever people say like, why you have these phones? Because this phone do nothing for you. I was like, these are like a piece of like a collection. These are actually a collection, definitely. But these are piece of things that reminds me of something that isn't there anymore. Like it was a different thing at the time. The Nokia was different. Like think about it. With these plastics, they used to compare. Like they used to put, just think about it. A Nokia 1520, even the Nokia 930. I'm sorry, I had the Nokia 930. Nokia 930. This is the plastic back, and they still made it like a premium device, like a flagship. So just think about it. A Nokia made plastic phone is still a flagship, and it's competing with phones like the Samsung Galaxy phones or even the Apple's iPhones or even HTC at the time. Just think about it. Nokia could do that. Because they had the manufacturing capability. They had the potential of making a phone that is solidly built, premium looking, yet it's made of plastic. Or even if they do the metal thing, they're doing it the best way possible. Like that was Nokia, every single way. But HMD had nothing in the hand. Now they don't even have the designs. So simply, I knew this thing. But with the Nokia 6, the Nokia 8, the Nokia 5, the Nokia 3, I saw a promise. That they have the build quality. They somehow could manage the build quality. With the Nokia 8.1, even the Nokia 9 had a good build quality. I was like, yeah, they have the power of making a phone without having their own manufacturing facility. They have the power to make a phone like that. I can talk. It doesn't make sense. But this is the most stupidest thing that ever happened to me, that I trusted a brand because there is the brand name. Just because of the name, you shouldn't trust a brand. because the old brand is over a long time back. So you should keep that in mind. If Nokia, the real Nokia, comes back in any way, I know that they're never going to manufacture phones. They're never going to compete with Apple and Samsung, because when when Nokia, if after HMD Nokia tries to make phones, that would be very close to the new era of smart devices, the AR VR glasses. Like the phones would be inside these specs. So we're gonna use specs as the phones. Maybe we won't even have to use the phones anymore. So those days are coming closer. So if Nokia can pioneer a part of it, if Nokia can make air glass right now, and they can somehow develop it to that point, but Nokia is not doing all those things. Nokia is in the network segment. So at the time of 2020, if you don't know, I had a popular Nokia fan base channel. I also deleted that one. Actually, I had to delete it. Like I was forced to delete that, and I think that was the best decision for me, because I already got inclined towards Apple and Samsung, and I totally switched to Samsung and Apple because of their vision towards the future. I looked at that and I'm like, just think about it. A Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra looks more Lumia than any Nokia by HMD. There's simply no Nokia by HMD looks as close to Fabula design, the Lumia 1020 design, the Lumia 920 design, the Lumia 925, the 5020 design. Rather, a Galaxy Note 20 Ultra looks more closer to the Lumia design. A Galaxy Note 10, the Galaxy Note 9 would even look more closer to the original, or whatever you say, the Fabula design. And that's the thing. Like, if Samsung can make a device like that and have a great software experience, great hardware, just think about a Galaxy Note series. I wanted to buy the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, but I just bought an expensive device, which I skipped that one. But I probably would buy the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Maybe not immediately after the launch, but probably sometimes after that. I'm very much about that phone. I'm still looking for a Note device. I just love the Galaxy Notes. I'm probably gonna say, if you want the better experience of the Android side, go for a Samsung. You will probably hate the icons. You will probably hate some of the parts of it. I hate it too. An Android 9 phone from Samsung would be even more advanced in a variety of ways than even an Android 12 phone, a stock Android 12 phone. It's that great. Can you believe that? Yes, in certain scenarios, it is, because a Samsung phone has ton more features, features that you probably don't even expect from a Samsung device are there. And it's fantastic, but once you have to dive into it, you're gonna find it. So if now anyone comes up to me and say I want to buy an Android device, I just totally say, if you're in the US, go buy a Pixel if you can, because at this moment Pixels are amazing, even though they have tons of bugs like the fingerprint issues, even though that was fixed in the last update. But there are ton more other issues that are coming up, I don't know, just tons of every now and then. But Google is also fixing all of them, so that's a good point. But if you look at other devices, if you want to buy other than Google Pixel, you don't like the stock Android UI, definitely go for Samsung. There is nothing better than them in Android world. Samsung is the best. They're best in displays, they're best in the software experience, every single possible way. I'm currently using the Samsung Dex as my secondary computer. Can you believe that? Samsung Dex. Yes, I respect Samsung for all these things. Samsung just made things in my life better than anybody else could do. And that's the thing. I know this episode is 50. Oh my god, this is the 53 minutes episode. Probably I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, but here's the thing, it's a long episode, man. I just don't know. Anyway, that's the thing. But if you are thinking of between the iOS and Android, you need to experience one of them. And if you have an experience of an iOS, go for iOS. If you love iPhones, go with iPhone, even if you have to compromise here and there, which is fine. If you love Android, then go for an Android. There is no competition in iOS and Android. There's nothing like that. Okay, and iOS is also iPhone is an iPhone, and a Samsung phone is a Samsung phone. However you like it, it is what it is. There is no competition. But if you want an Android, Google Pixel or Samsung, two clear choice. And if you want an iPhone, then it's an iPhone. And if you're on a good phone, you can go either one of them, and you're gonna be happy. But no Nokia devices. for me, from my side, I'm gonna recommend no one a Nokia device anymore. The worst experience of my life. A company that I used to love the most is also the company that I hate the most now. Thanks to HMD Global. And that would be the end of the episode. And I know this is a different way, so I'm just a little bit different. So I'm gonna make it a little bit different, okay? So the end is like this. So yeah, that's about it. If you guys want to see more episodes like this, please hit the like button and please do subscribe. And definitely visit my website, joindavid.com, link down below. It's for everything tech. Or just watch my other videos. Until the next alarm episode, bye and take care.